Hi, so what we're going to talk a little bit about the least common multiple. So what exactly is the least common multiple? Well, the technical definition of the LCM is right here. It's referred to as the lowest number that can go in that's evenly divisible by all the numbers in a set or a list. Okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to kind of go over at least kind of sort of how I present the least common multiple to students because this is going to tie in a lot to fractions and when we add and subtract them and find the least common denominator. So let's find the least common multiple between 5 and 7. So the process we're going to do is listed right here. Okay, so we're going to list the times tables. I know how much you guys love that one because that one came from elementary school, from grade school, a long time ago, especially for me. So we're going to list the times tables for each number, and then we're going to determine what the LCM, the least common multiple, is for the number, or for those numbers. And just in general, the least common multiple is the first number or the smallest number that both of those lists will have in common. So let's look at 5 and 7. So if we do the times tables for 5, well, 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10, 15, 20, and so on. 7, 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 2 is 14, 21, keep on going. Okay, so I have the list right here. So the times tables for 5 are listed here. Times tables for 7 are listed here. Now, if we compare both of those lists, the smallest number that both of those lists have in common is what we call the least common multiple. In this case, the LCM, or the least common multiple, is going to be 35 for both 5 and 7. All right? So, like I said, we're taking it back, way back when to grade school when we did times tables. We're going to look at the times tables for each of those numbers. The smallest number that both lists have in common is our common multiple. It's our least common multiple. Now let's find the least common multiple between 6 and 9. Still doing the same process. 6 times 1, 6 times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5, yada yada yada. Same thing with 9. 9 times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, blah 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 blah. And then the LCM is going to be the smallest number that both of those lists would have in common. So 6 times 1 is 6, times 2 is 12, 3 is 18, 24, so on and so forth. 9, 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54. Okay? Same process as the last one. The smallest number that both of those lists have in common is going to be our least common multiple. In this case, our LCM is going to be 18 because 18 is the smallest number in this list and this list right here. It's the smallest number that both of these guys have in common. So let's take it up a notch, shall we? All right. What about the least common multiple between 13 and 11? I'm going to have you think about it just for a little bit. I will give you a hint. It is going to be a big number. It took me a little bit to get it at first. So if we do the same process of 13, so it'll be 13 times 1 is 13, times 2 is 26, 39, 52, keep on going, okay? Same thing with 11. 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, so on and so forth. And this is the list, at least up to some big numbers. So we got the times tables for 13, times tables for 11. And if we compare both of those lists, we see that the first number that both of those lists have in common is going to be 143. So 143 is going to be our least common multiple between 13 and 11. All right. Now, this one I'm going to have you guys do on your own. So find the least common multiple between 13 and 3. Now, I will say this. Your answer is going to be 39, but it's going to be up to you to figure out why it's 39. We repeat the processes that we did in the last couple of problems, and you'll see that 39 is going to be the smallest number for both of those lists, okay, for both of those times tables. Now, the applications of the least common multiple. Well, In general, the least common multiple does not have a whole range of applications, but there's one application it does play a crucial role into, and that is when we add and subtract fractions. Okay, we're going to talk about that in the next lesson. When we add and subtract fractions, we have to find the least common denominator. The least common denominator is using the same principles as the least common multiple. All right, so stay tuned for the next one. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am happy to help, guys. Okay? So until next time, take it easy.